Good morning, everyone. Today is October the 2nd. It's 5:30 in the morning, and I'm just going to get started with some updates on a few of the dollar pairs I am currently in, and if anyone is in, if you're not in, where there's a possibility where you may be able to enter, and if that's the case, let me get started. This is a 240 in the euro dollar. I have this top here as wave 3, and then I have this is the A of 4. Then I have a triangle, which was A, B here, C, D, which did not go below the B, and then E of 4 for B, and E of B. And basically, this is my GAN fan. I'm trying this out just to try to see if how price is associated with time, basically. And then also these particular lines here is my Fibonacci time. And what these basically represent is the amount of time is most likely going to take for this particular wave 4 to end. And I'm just testing it out. So far, this GAN fan is showing some really good support and resistance levels. They're not 100% accurate, nothing is, but it's pretty good when used correctly. And I'm just searching a couple of YouTube channels to see how to properly use it. And then when I add that with my Elliott, it's looking pretty good so far. It actually worked out great on this particular trade here because when I actually watched wave B of E at 1.2006, but I missed it. So then what I did is I counted 3 waves down, and I tried to wait for a retracement up. So if this is wave E of B, I counted 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3. And then what I did is said, okay, if this is wave 3 at the bottom, then wave 4 shouldn't go above this particular line here, which was 1856. I said give or take 1850 actually. So then what I did is I projected, I did my own projection and said, okay, I would like to get in at around 1825 because it should fall. What I was just basically doing was going back and looking at previous resistance or support levels. So I went here, this was 1836, then I went here, and this was 1824. So then that gave me an indication that it would probably likely find its resistance near the previous. But I didn't think 1838 would be it. I said it would be in the range between 1840 and 1825. Well, I didn't want to go too high, so I said 1825. And as you can see, price literally went to about 18. Actually, when I got in, I think it went to 1826 and popped me in, and it kind of just slowly went down. But then once it broke this particular support level from my Ichimoku cloud, I knew that it would continue lower, and it did. However, this still may be, if this is wave 3 at the bottom, this still may be A. Now this will be basically we're in wave C. Now this can be wave 3 of 1, this can be A, and then this can possibly be B, and then you can see you can see a CDE for 4, and then you'll see wave 5 of 1 possibly come to around this particular support level of about 1689 or so. I'm waiting for it needs to break 1700 for it to really be. I actually needed to break 1675, and if it broke 1675, that's when This is actually a key sell signal. Breaking this right here is going to indicate that prices is going to go another 100 ticks or so lower. That's why I'm saying here that the 1675 level, if it was to break between 1688, technically if it was to break between 1730 and 1675, so we'll go here. It needs to break this. Once it breaks this one, the sell signals will be on. And if you're not in this trade currently, you kind of want to wait and see what it's going to do, because it's gonna once it goes in this particular area here, this is going to be a perfect selling opportunity with probably a stop at around 1786, give or take. But you can expect it to go to near 1530 or so. So it'll be a nice 100 plus ticks. So we'll see how that's going to go, but so far so good. And I'm going to move on to the pound. Something happened in the pound yesterday, the last night, because when I looked before I went to bed, I was only up maybe 100 ticks, somewhere around there. And I had this as the top of wave 4, and I kind of was counting this as a leading diagonal, to where you can say that this was a 1, this is a 2, and now this is another 1, 2, and then you have a 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, for 4, and then you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 of 5 of 1. So you'll probably see another move up, and then you'll probably see another move down to maybe 132 even, give or take. As you can see, RSI does have a little room to go. So it is very possible that wave 4 could be intact. However, on the euro, we're also still in wave 4, and I'm expecting a larger move up above 121 in the short-term future to end it. But it could be that the end is already there. So that's the whole trick of counting waves. You never know until you know, really. So that's another dollar pair. I am down actually on the Aussie dollar, about 6 ticks or so, give or take. I was up about 8 or 10 ticks. I got in at 72.27. I'm down 6 ticks, and I'm not sure if this particular count is correct. So, if this was wave 4 here, I have my stop here at 77.83. So, printing below that basically means that the 4 is not done yet, and the 4 can actually come, a lot lower than what I expect. And if that's the case, I'll just wait it out, because I'm in a couple of trades already doing fantastic. So I'm not risking too much in this trade anyway. But I would like to at least give a better count for those who would like to be in that trade. Looking at the New Zealand dollar. Now the New Zealand dollar I'm doing good in. However, I'm going to have to redo this count, because if you look at this count, I have 5 waves down for wave 1. I have a W, X, Y for 2, and this is what I see. This is what I see from a 240 perspective. But now what I did is someone had pointed it out to my attention that on a weekly I previously had it in a different count. So I went over to my weekly, and I noticed that I still have this as wave 3 here with a W, X, and a possible wave Y here. Now, if this was wave Y here, now this makes sense. It does make sense. I recently moved it. I actually had my wave vibe going above 0.618. So if that's the case, then this is a 1, 2, and now you know this is 1, 2 count, but we would need price to break the 71.65 level in order for that to be validated. However, if it does not, prices could shoot above 75 and go more towards 76, if not 77, for wave 4. But if I have my wave 1 here, then the invalidation point is 77.03, give or take right there, because this is where my wave 1 ended. So wave 4 cannot enter the territory of wave 1. So if it does print up, you're looking at around 76. So we need to see price break the trend. As you can see on the Ichimoku cloud here, the purple particular Ichimoku cloud here, that's a support level. It needs to break it. It has not yet. On the GAN fan, it's right near the Ichimoku support level. It's hit that several times. It hasn't broken yet. So we need that to be broken. And as of right now, RSI is telling something on the weekly. The RSIs are pretty good on the larger time frames, and it definitely does have a lot more room to the downside. So we need price to go, and if it takes off, it's great. If you have not gotten in this trade, well, if you're thinking of going short and you want to be on a little bit less risky, getting in at around 72.50, if the prices does print up again, will be the best bet. And if you get in around 72.50, you would need to put your stop right above these two double tops here at 73.30. That's a large stop for those who are inexperienced. However, if you were to say, you know what, I want to risk it now, if you want to go short now, when it's right near the support levels, well, you would want to have your stop at 72.45. So that's not a bad area. If you got in at 7,200 with a stop at 72.45, you're not risking too much. So, but that's just based off of your trading. So let me move on. Okay, so that was, I think all right, let's go to the dollar yen. Now, I'm going to continue to keep this here, although this is possible that wave 2 is already in place at 107. I'm up 335 ticks and I still haven't added. And I haven't added because I'm unsure. Now, once price broke this particular resistance level, where the Ichimoku cloud was at 111.72 or so, I am expecting now price to find its next resistance level near the 114 area. And if that's the case, then I'm going to go ahead on and move my wave 2 to this bottom, and it'll be safe to say that wave 2 is in place. Until then, this can still be like a W, X, and then let's see, possibly a A, B. This will be basically A, B, and then a C for Y. And this can be like it won't be necessarily a expanded flat B, but it still could be a B that just went above 50% of the previous wave. So, but there's some mathematicians out there who are saying that this is the bottom. In that case, if you're not in it, I wouldn't get in it. I kind of got lucky on this trade. As you can see, 107 was the bottom. I jumped in literally 200 ticks later, and it still took off because I waited for price to break this particular support level here. And once it broke 109, 14, I got in 15 ticks later, and then took it with the stop below here. And then I actually started moving up with my 100 SMA, moving average line. So far that one's good. I'll probably do a lower time frame, but I'm actually trying to get in this one for the long term. So I'm trying to add on a little bit more contracts if I can. And I think last but not necessarily least would be the CAD. And the CAD so far, I have this as let's see where I'm at. So I have this going up for wave 4. Now this was wave 2. Let me scale down a little bit so you can see it. So basically the move up on a weekly is 5 waves up. Now this is an AR one because I'm not sure if this completed anything. I have this as a W, X, Y for B or 2. And then you can clearly count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1. So now this particular move up from the bottom is either, this could be 1, 2, then this could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of 3, or how I said it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 1. Either way, it appears that price will find some extreme resistance at about 126. And right now prices is at 125. And as you can see with these Gann fans, I mean, it's finding some serious resistance right, not serious, but it's finding great resistance right at the particular levels of the Gann fan. So here is one that it found its resistance. It came back down. Look at the purple. Stopped right on the purple. Even like here, and let's see, right here when it went down, it almost found it right there. So these Gann fans are pretty good. I mean they're pretty good. I haven't did too much research on Gann. I just know it was more like of a planetary, astro financial, about astrology type of financial way of looking at the markets, and I'm starting to believe in that. So I mean, Elliott's similar. So I mean, Elliott's based off of crowd psychology. So I mean, it all can be connected, and you can use whatever you choose for your analysis. I mean, as long as it works for you. So in that case, 360 on half a contract is not bad. I mean, I'll definitely take that, especially on a counter trend, because you can see that this is clearly, short. This is clear to the downside, and I expected wave 4 to be somewhere near wave 4 of the previous degree. I mean, I'm sorry, not wave 4, but I expected this to be the end of wave 3 or wave 1 of 3, and I mean, I waited about 100 ticks, and then I took a long in it. So I'll try to see where the next level of entry would be, but honestly I would definitely not go long, because to the upside, prices may be coming to an end, and it'll be pretty good for a short. But if everything else is it makes sense, honestly, with the euro nearing wave 4 at around maybe less than 200 ticks or so, 100 plus so ticks. These dollar pairs are they're not connected like that. You know what I mean? Some of them are, and some of them aren't. So just be careful. They're not correlated, is the word I was looking for. Some are correlated, some aren't, but they're not always correlated. To the T like that. So don't get that mistaken thinking that every dollar pair, if the dollar's going, if the dollar is strong, all dollar pairs are strong at the same time. It doesn't work like that. You can definitely take a huge loss thinking that. But the last thing I want to look at is this one, and that was a weekly, because if on the weekly I showed you the 240, but on the weekly, if this is the WXY for 4 here, well, I'm expecting price obviously to go below 119. So at this particular entry, because I took several losses, but trying to call this particular top, and that's basically where I'm trying to end this on this this page in this pair. I took several losses, and they were all between 40, 50, 60 ticks here and there, consecutive, 4 or 5 consecutive losses between this area, uh, as it's still, I actually was expecting price to find resistance here at 134. I took a short. I got stopped out. It went higher. I took a short. I got stopped out. And then finally, it went higher. I took a short. And look where I'm at. That's the name of the game. You have to make sure that your risk and reward is there, and you can tolerate that, number one. But it's almost like if you're playing a sport, and let's just say football, let's just use it as a receiver. If a receiver goes out and the quarterback passes the ball to the receiver and he drops it, don't think about that drop. You go out and you just catch the next one. And the last thing you want in your mind is every drop that you've had, because that'll weigh you down. So when it comes to trading, if you take a loss, so be it. As long as you can risk that loss, so be it. You catch the next one. You catch the next one. You catch the next one. And you don't want to call a top. You don't want to call a bottom. You want to do your analysis and have it, line up. And sometimes your analysis is there, but it's just not there yet. So sometimes you're a little bit too early to the party, but that's okay, because you know that at some point the price is going to find support or resistance, and it's going to come crashing down. Now, if this ends up being the case, and this is the top of wave 4, and let's just say I'm here and I add on later, well, I'm in at 35.37. If price goes below 119, that's a huge trade. That's a very huge trade, and it's probably going to find its next support level at 132.68 or so. And if it breaks through that, it'll go a little bit lower. And if this will be wave 1 of 5, it still has to retrace itself, so it's plenty of room to get in. But it's just a lesson I'm trying to give here, is that as an Elliottician or as a trader, you never want to think about the previous loss. You don't even want to think about the previous gain. Once the money's in the books, you want to just continue to trade and continue to study and continue to kind of look. And there's a reason why I'm no longer showing. I have all of these. Look at all these particular other ones that like the CAD, for example. I right now I can't focus on that many trades, because that's when you really start losing. Now I have it labeled, but I'm in 4 or 5 comfortable trades, all within 100 or 200 and some 300 plus ticks. So when you do the math on that, I'm on, just in the dollar pair trades, I'm pushing almost 1,000 ticks on those trades. I'm comfortable with that. So trying to go look and scalp and see what else is out there, it's good, but you don't want to, you don't want to have you don't want to overload yourself, because that's when you start miscounting stuff, and that's when you start taking losses. So although I do have all these trades, and look here, I jumped in the Euro Aussie, trying to see if it would make one last move to the downside, and I'm up 23 ticks on that. So, and it is still possible that it could go down, but I may have to just exit that by tomorrow, just because I don't want to be in a trade that I can't monitor like that. And there's other opportunities out there, but you have to make sure that you are in trades that you can monitor. Some trades I'm just doing overnight scalps. Majority of trades I'm doing for the long term. So you have to be comfortable with your own trades. So I'm out of that trade. Let's see, daily. Yeah, see, I mean, even this one, even the Euro Yen, I missed this. I had this going to 133.90 or give or take when it was in this area, and then it all of a sudden went out. I mean, I had it when it was, you know, right here, and then you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 2. Now, if I'm going to get back in, I want prices to go above 133, and it may not. But hey, it happens. I had the count, everything was there, and then I took my mind away from it. So, I mean, just ending again. Some of these dollar pairs are doing real good, and the focus really, you might want to focus would be on this euro dollar pair right now, because it still has good 200 ticks to the downside. So trying to get in somewhere at the levels of about 1788, give or take, would have stopped at about 1830. That's if it goes there, will be great. But it does need to break the support of 1730. Once it does that, that's definitely a sell signal. So really, you would want to sell once it broke 1730. If you trying to go short anywhere in here, you're taking a risk, because price could continue to go up. This can be 3. This can be A, this can be B, and now you can see C of 4 come here. It can actually stop me out, but at that point, I would move my stop loss here, knowing that it's going to go back down. I would move my stop loss and go from there, or I would move my stop loss up and just, you know, take a couple of the ticks off the table, pips off the table, and then wait for what to do. But I'm expecting price eventually to break 1728, and that will be the next sell signal. And that's all I have. I'm sorry for having this video so long, but I wanted to give the best analysis for the week that I can. Hopefully I'll have another video for you guys tomorrow, if not latest by Wednesday. Happy trading for the week of the October the 2nd.